Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are unpacking a fascinating, sometimes confusing, but entirely natural chapter of human development, adolescence. If you've ever wondered about the crazy biological and psychological gears turning during those pivotal teenage years, well, you're in the exact right place. Let's dive right into the science of growing up.
Here's a quick look at our agenda for today. We'll be covering 1. Understanding adolescent growth. 2. Physical and reproductive changes. 3. Navigating psychosocial shifts. 4. Risks of teenage pregnancy. And 5. Tracking vital health statistics.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, Understanding Adolescent Growth, and specifically the transition to adulthood.
So what exactly is adolescence? Officially, it's defined as that window from ages 10 to 19. It's a period full of joy and, let's be honest, plenty of challenges. It's kickstarted by the onset of puberty, which is basically when your body flips a switch. Specific sex hormones like testosterone in males and estrogen and progesterone in females are suddenly secreted in much, much higher amounts, and that triggers a massive, system-wide transformation.
To see where this all fits into the broader human journey, think of adolescence as a bridge, the critical link connecting childhood directly to adulthood. During childhood, your growth is pretty steady. But once you hit adolescence, you experience rapid physical, mental, emotional, and social changes that literally prepare you for the maturation and reproductive phase of full adulthood. Moving right along to Section 2, Physical and Reproductive Changes, the growth spurt and beyond.
It often feels like a child grows into a young adult overnight, right? That adolescent growth spurt happens incredibly fast. Under the influence of growth hormones, sex organs mature. Those same hormones act directly on the growth centers of your bones, rapidly increasing the length of your limbs and spine. Meanwhile, your muscle mass undergoes a massive spurt, typically peaking around the age of 14 to 16.
Now, while both boys and girls experience big increases in height and weight during this time, the specific secondary sexual characteristics differ quite a bit. Boys will experience a noticeable change in their voice, facial hair growth, and a widening of the shoulders. Girls, triggered by estrogen, experience the onset of menstruation, broadening of the hips, and breast development. This actually brings us to a really insightful case study from the chapter we're explaining today. 13-year-old Pooja realized that all her close friends had started menstruating while she hadn't. This left her incredibly worried that something was wrong with her. But here's the reality. These changes happen at completely different times for different individuals. Everyone's pace is unique, so there is absolutely no need to panic or compare yourself to others.
For girls navigating menstruation, which typically kicks in between ages 12 and 13, hygiene is paramount. It's about both health and confidence. Taking regular baths, changing pads every 4 to 6 hours, and wearing breathable undergarments are simple steps that really help avoid infections. And if using homemade cloth pads, it's absolutely crucial to wash them thoroughly and dry them in direct sunlight. Sunlight actually acts as a powerful natural disinfectant.
Now let's switch gears and talk about boys for a second. There is a very common myth out there that causes deep, completely unnecessary anxiety during puberty. And that's the fear that wet dreams cause physical weakness because of a loss of semen from the body.
So let's clear this up right now. Wet dreams, or nocturnal emissions, are a completely normal, natural physiological process. Just as a young boy named Naresh learned from a doctor in our source material, semen and sperm are continuously made in the testes. Any loss is replaced very quickly. There's no reason for shame, and there's certainly no reason to go wasting money on quack remedies.
Okay, on to Section 3, Navigating Psychosocial Shifts. Thoughts, moods, and identity.
Psychosocial changes are all about thoughts, moods, and friendships. During adolescence, you become highly aware of yourself in relation to society. Teenagers start building their own distinct identity, and that often involves distancing themselves from their parents and leaning heavily into their peer groups. Now, while this is a completely vital way to build independence, it can for sure create some stressful, though entirely normal, friction at the dinner table.
Because teenagers belong to such a vulnerable age group that feels intense, heavy pressure from peers, building a trusted safety net is vital. They need adults, whether that's parents, teachers, or counselors, with whom they can discuss their doubts, their bodily changes, and their fears entirely without judgment.
Which brings us to Section 4, Risks of Teenage Pregnancy. The danger of early marriage.
Here is a crucial distinction. While the onset of puberty means an adolescent is biologically capable of reproduction, this does not equate to true reproductive maturity.
True reproductive maturity is reached only when a teenager is fully developed physically, mentally, and physiologically.
The chapter highlights the tragic case of Sanjita, who became pregnant at just 16 after an early marriage. Her story perfectly illustrates a harsh biological truth. Teenage bodies just aren't equipped for the intense physiological demands of pregnancy. There is a terrifyingly high risk of maternal anemia, birth complications, and infant mortality. Furthermore, early pregnancy completely derails a young mother's education and future career prospects, often before they've even really begun.
Finally, let's look at Section 5, Tracking Vital Health Statistics, Maintaining the Body Machine.
As the body grows so rapidly on the outside, the internal organs have to keep up. A fantastic way to assess those vital functions is by checking blood pressure, which is simply the pressure exerted by blood on your arterial walls. Using a device called a sphygmomanometer, a normal, healthy young adult should see a reading right around 110/75.
Another great health metric to track during this rapid growth phase is your body mass index, or BMI. It's a simple calculation you can easily do at home. Just take your exact weight in kilograms and divide it by the square of your height in meters. This is a really easy way to ensure your weight is healthy and proportional to your newly attained adult height.
But you need to know how to read that number once you've calculated it, right? A normal healthy BMI range falls right between 18 and 25. If the number is between 25 and 29, it indicates being overweight, and anything over 30 is considered obese.
Beyond just the math, simple physical checks are incredibly revealing. You can track muscle growth just by measuring your mid-arm circumference, or by checking for a normal pink color and rough texture on the tongue, and making sure the nail beds are smooth without discoloration. You can proactively spot nutritional deficiencies or infections super early on. Your body tells a story if you know how to read it.
And as adolescents take more charge of their own bodies, they really need to understand basic pharmacology. Medicines are powerful chemicals that alter cell functions. Yes, they heal, but they can also cause dangerous toxicity or severe side effects. So the rule is simple: never self-medicate or take over-the-counter drugs without proper medical guidance from a doctor.
To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final thought. We've seen just how intensely physical, emotional, and psychological the teenage years truly are. Armed with all this knowledge, what steps can you take today to create a stronger, more empathetic safety net for the adolescents in your life? Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.